Hey, everybody, what's going on? It is James here with Crypto Common Sense, aka Three Peaks Trading. And in this video, I want to quickly talk about the fact that traders probably don't know any more about the market and where it's going than Joe Blow off the street. So a question that I get quite a bit from family and friends, they will call me or they will send me a Facebook message and they will say, "Hey, James, what do you think about XYZ stock? What do you think about XYZ cryptocurrency? What do you think about the market?" And guys, the reality is this: as much as if you asked me 5 or 6 years ago, I would have said, I think you can predict where the market's going long term. I don't think you can predict where the market is going long term. I think what traders can do so much better than the average person is take advantage of temporary inefficiencies in the market. In 2019, when I said I thought Bitcoin was going back to $4,000, I said, I think it'll go to 4,000. This is back when it was like, 10,000 plus. And then I think it'll go to 55 to 75,000 before 2022. I broke down the reasons for that back then. The 4,000, in hindsight, pure, utter luck. Okay. I was looking for a gap fill, and that's fine. It filled, but it's a coincidence, guys. It's just a coincidence because the gap that filled was what's called a breakaway gap. And most often those gaps do not fill. So the fact that it went back there was really just, in my opinion, in hindsight, more luck than anything else. Now, the $55,000 to $75,000 call, that was less luck, but still not something that, I would have went out and mortgaged my house to bet on. It was based on a mathematical model that I shared back then. I walked through the details of it. Essentially, there's diminishing returns on Bitcoin where each cycle produces a smaller return than the cycle before. And again, I did videos breaking down the exact numbers and the model and all that stuff. But that's where the 55 to 75,000 came from. That model has now failed, though, because that model predicted that the following high after 55 to 75 would be somewhere around 40,000. And we've already broke that since then. So again, how much of that was luck and how much of it was skill, I don't know. But when you look at these analysts and they're giving you these predictions, they're really not based on anything that's certain, which I think most people understand, but they think, well, this person's a trader, so, I'm going to go with their call. Now, there's a reason that I have this spreadsheet pulled up here, and I'm going to show you this to you because this is what you need to understand about trading. Being a successful trader does not mean you're right about what the market's going to do. It doesn't even mean that you win most of the time. Like if I make 10 videos and I make 10 predictions, if I get half of those right and half of those wrong, a lot of people are going to be like, dude, you're not very good. You're wrong like half the time. But the thing is being wrong half the time in trading is actually really, really good. Let's say I was risking $1,000 per trade and I took 25 trades. Well, I take that a day a lot of times, but let's say that I took that a month. And that's 12 grand a month profit. Let's say that I did that every month for a year. That's 300 trades. That means I'm making $150,000 a year or about 150 R. That's 150% return, being right just 50% of the time. Let's say that I'm only right 40% of the time and I take the same 300 trades. I'm still making $60,000 a year or about 60% return, which is 6 times the average return of the market. Even though I'm wrong most of the time. Let's say that I'm only right 35% of the time. I'm still making a better return than the market, even though I'm wrong nearly 2/3 of the time. If I did 10 YouTube videos and made 10 predictions and 6 of them were wrong, most people would be like, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. But at the same time, people watch YouTube videos and think that somebody's going to be right 70 and 80 and 90% of the time. And guys, they're just not. Look at the numbers in this. If I was right 80% of the time, trading a 2-to-1 system where I actually hit 2R targets, didn't close trades early, etc., that would be a 420 R return. That means I was making 4x on my money every single year. Now, there are traders that have done that in history, but they are few and far between. We're talking about like the all-time greats, guys that most people have probably never even heard of, okay? There's one particular that was a mathematician, not even a trader. He became a trader, greatest trader ever. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but he averaged more than this. Richard Dennis averaged more than this over a short span of about 6 years, but then everything fell apart and he had huge losses. So the reality is this: Traders are not savants. Traders cannot predict the future, and traders are going to be wrong anywhere from 30 to 70% of the time, depending on the type of trades they're taking. If I am taking position trades, where I am a position trade only, which I'm not, by the way. I take position trades, but it's only one piece of the puzzle. I can be wrong 80% of the time because a lot of times my reward to risk is going to be 5R or greater. So that means I can lose 80% of my trades and still be extremely profitable. But if I did 10 videos making 10 macro predictions and 8 of them were wrong, you all would be very unhappy with me. But that is the reality of trading. And so I wanted to do this video and explain that to you, because if you're watching somebody on YouTube, or if you're reading somebody's post on social media, or if you're watching somebody on the television and you're going, wow, they said it's going to do XYZ, don't take it like it's gold. I made that mistake in 2017 and it cost me literally over $100,000. There were a couple of coins. Well, if we want to get really deep in the weeds, it cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars. The video's getting a little long, but I'll give you an example. There was a newsletter that was a $5,000 newsletter. It was very expensive, complete scam in my opinion. I won't name the newsletter because I don't want to get sued. But essentially, they made a prediction that OMG was going to be worth up to $750 per token someday. So like a goofball, I put 5 Bitcoin into OMG when OMG dumped back in 2018. I put 5 Bitcoin in it. Now, Bitcoin was only like $6,000 or $7,000 at the time. So it was about $35,000 US dollars worth, but it was Bitcoin. It wasn't US dollars I was investing. It was some of the Bitcoin that I had. I had like 21 Bitcoin and I put like 5 of it in OMG. Okay. And then I proceeded to lose like 95% of my Bitcoin because OMG just dumped and dumped and dumped and dumped and dumped. And today OMG is worth, I haven't looked lately, but I think last I looked, it was under 50 cents. Maybe, I think I looked a couple days when it was like 25 cents even, because I just looked out of curiosity. I sold most of it back in 2021 for a loss. Yeah, US dollars, it wasn't that bad, but versus Bitcoin, it was like 95% loss. I took on that, lost like 4.5 Bitcoin or whatever it was. Okay, and it's because this newsletter, well, this newsletter is big and, you know, $5,000 newsletter, they got to know what they're talking about, but they also made huge claims about Litecoin, which I lost over $30,000 in a Litecoin trade back then because I was listening to the newsletter instead of doing my own trading. This is back in early 2018. This is part of the reason that I actually got serious and learned to trade myself, because I was like, I'm not defaulting to other people's bullshit, newsletters anymore. So don't listen to people and then put yourself in a position where you're losing tons and tons of money. Sure, if there's somebody that you like and they're making a call and you want to put in 0.5% or 1% of your portfolio, that's up to you. That's proper risk management. In worst case, if they're wrong, you lose 1%. That's how this works, right? If I take, we'll change this to 100, for example, position trades. Let's say I take 100 position trades a year and I'm wrong 80% of the time, which by the way, I'm not, but let's just say that I was. Let's say I was missing 80% of the time. If I'm only risking 1% of my portfolio, for easy math, let's say I got 100 grand, so I'm risking $1,000 each time. It's fine, because each time I lose, I'm only losing $1 grand, and it doesn't put me in a position where I can't come back and trade. And at the end of the year, maybe I add an extra $20,000 to my bottom line. Okay. You have to look at it like that. Okay. You can't look at it like a trader knows what's going to happen and they said XYZ and he's got 1 million followers on social media, so I'm going to mortgage my house and go buy whatever asset it is, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, whether it's some stock, whether it's, whatever. Just realize that traders are actually trading math. They're trading percentages and statistics. And like, for example, there are some systems that I look at trading that don't even use technical analysis. Most of my trades, like my intraday trades, all TA, but on larger time frames, there's actually a mathematical model that I can use to take trades on large time frames that don't even need a chart. Okay. It's just based on math. So I know this video is kind of long and people are like, oh, it's not a chart, or you're not telling me what to do. You're not telling me what Bitcoin's going to be worth. This is far more important. Understand that other people don't know any more than you do in reality, and that predicting where the market's going is like predicting the weather. You're going to be wrong a lot of the time. And if you're using proper risk management, you can still do very well. If you're not, you will lose all your money. It's not if, it's when. I've seen people who have went from $10,000 accounts to $100,000 accounts to $1 million accounts, then lose all of it because they're not using proper risk management. It only takes a couple of really bad decisions to give it all back. And that's what I did in 2018. I gave it all back and then some, right? And I had to start from scratch. It was about June or July of 2018 where I finally realized I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm doing. right? I knew what I was doing in a bull market because everybody wins in a bull market, but I didn't really understand trading. I wasn't using proper risk management. I wasn't using proper money management. Some trades I would take were $30,000 trades. Some trades were $50,000 trades. Some trades were $10,000 trades. Some trades had stop losses. Some trades didn't have stop losses. Like, all that stuff matters. So hopefully this video breaks through the myth that, you know, traders know more than you do. They don't. They're just trading edges. That's what we do for a living. Do me a favor, stop now, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and of course, as always, please remember to trade safe.